Hey, yeah, I want to talk a bit more about this Federal Lock SR60. Now, in my last video, I talked about how I had one of these Sparrows ultra decoders that we usually use to attack logs like this, and how I had a broken one which I was able to file down. And I'm wearing a glove, by the way, because all this holding this broken one is ripping at my fingers. But I filed it down, and I filed it down to about the skinnier end is, I don't know, about 1.9 mils. From the thicker end might be just over 2. This thing is only like 0.2, 0.18 of a mil thick. It's very thin, and you'll be hard to make one of these out of like a bobby pin or a hairpin or something like this. This is spring steel, and if you know how to work with metal, you can do that. I don't, so I just filed down one of these. I wanted to do this extra video to talk about some people are going to make this, and it's going to be harder than they think to get the lock open. For a start, I just want to say, as I said last time, I've put a little bit of an arch in this, so it sort of tries to, when it goes in, it tries to lift that lever a little bit more. Maybe if it goes in and you push this close, lift that lever and let go, and it opens up. That's the method we're trying to use, and if it goes up a little bit, then maybe it helps. I rounded the end a little bit, and you might be able to see that it just the end, it curves right a little bit, okay, just the end, and that's because of these wheels. When you stick it in, you want to be able to clear these wheels, and sometimes having a little bit of guidance there can help it steer away from the wheel and under this tooth. Okay, it's important to get under. You don't want to go in and up and over. You want to get straightish, but not hitting there, but under. And as I said last time, it's important this only works between the third and fourth wheel, the right hand side of the fourth wheel, and you're sticking it under. Okay, the idea is to pull this down, push the lever up, but you won't be able to do that unless unless this is pushed down first, and then you'll be able to more easily lift up that lever. That's the way these locks work. When you let go, they pop open. Usually it only happens with the correct combination, but if you don't have the correct combination, you push down and nothing happens. And so I explained how last time I was able to get this quite easily, and it does go quite in quite easily. I'll just push this down as well and see how it's going all the way to about there, and then I push down and then it pops open. Okay, it's much easier with gloves for me. You might have noticed on the video last time too that I had this on 6. Now I've since found out that I was just playing around with numbers when I was trying to get this in, and 6 is a good number for this lock. 0 is a good number on this wheel, but other numbers, it's really quite difficult to get this in. If I put it on 8, for example, if I get this in, it goes in a little bit and then it sort of stops, and it's really tough. Maybe I could get in there if I had a even narrower shaft. I didn't want to make it too narrow because I need it, strong enough. I didn't want it to break. So I found if you find you can't get it in, then try different numbers. I found on this lock, I tried different numbers. 6 worked, 8 you could see didn't really work at all. 0, and I'm sort of putting a little bit down, and 0 works. 0 goes in, seems to go in pretty nicely. Maybe a little bit stiffer than 6, but 0, I still managed to get it open on 6. I've tried it on 0 because I've tried it before, but just try a few numbers. That's very important. Otherwise, you might not be able to get in deep enough. And you saw that it went into about that much, right? And so we're talking about 2.5 centimeters there, or 25 mils. And you can see that goes in just enough so I can lift that lever. Maybe I could even put it in a little bit further. But if I'm only going to put it there, then since this is the pivot point, or the fulcrum, or whatever it's called, I won't be able to lift it unless I get past that. Okay, so most important tip, try different numbers on this third wheel. Sometimes I put a little bit bent to the right. You don't want your whole thing bent. On some numbers when I've tried to get it in, I've wiggled, and when I come out, this whole thing is sort of bent a little bit. You don't want that, because again, you want to get it through under. You don't want it to stick out here too much, so you want it pretty straight. Sometimes I'll even sort of just make sure that it's not going to turn to the right, but even a little bit of a slight left bend can also work if necessary, and so that when it goes in, you're going to be guaranteed to be under that lever. If I didn't make this video, you would have found it difficult unless you tried some of these tricks where you want this on the right number. So I'm going to squeeze the shackle in, put that in, goes in quite a bit, push it down, let go, it opens. And with the right combination, I'd just be able to press down and let go, and it would pop open completely. But because I had this piece of metal in there, you could see I had to sort of push and let go, and then give it a little bit of a tug